While the program had and continued to successfully deploy and service science probes and satellites, as well as conduct on-orbit research, the Space Shuttle undertook a new long-range task perfectly suited to her
spacecraft
specialized
that can
capabilities.
carry at least 7 people into orbit,
that can carry
and
at
with
least
those
7
7
people into orbit,
you can do a huge amount of work. One mission, you can do multiple EVAs, you've got multiple crew members, you've got a huge payload, just all kinds of capabilities to be able to construct all kinds of and build bigger things.
Less than 2 weeks after Glenn's return to Earth, a Russian Proton rocket departs the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, carrying the Zarya module, the first component of the new International Space Station.
Liftoff of the Proton rocket and the Zarya control module. International Space Station is underway.
2 weeks after, Space Shuttle Endeavour follows up with delivery of America's Unity module, the second piece of this largest space station puzzle ever to be constructed.
Houston Endeavour, we have capture of Zarya. Houston Endeavour, we have capture of Zarya.
Not until July 2000 will the Russian Zvezda module be added, finally allowing for 2 Russian cosmonauts and their American Expedition 1 commander Bill Shepard to journey aboard a Soyuz spacecraft to the International Space Station and begin humankind's continuous extraterrestrial presence.
Across the world, people are very, very interested in and delighted by the International Space Station and delighted by science, the International Space Station.
Since only an orbiter's payload bay could hold the station's largest components, the multi-year, multi-mission building, outfitting and servicing of the ISS with cargo and crew become primarily a job for the shuttle. Amid these dynamic station building missions, one seemingly simple and relatively uncomplicated flight would prove problematic and threaten the very future of America's human spaceflight program. Since 1988, the Space Shuttle had completed 15 years of successful missions. Each was unique. Each had its own specific goals and tasks, and each had its own dedicated crew of astronauts who trained exhaustively to meet and carry them out. Yet each of those 87 flights did have 2 things in common. Safe launch,
Liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery.
Safe launch, safe landing.
Liftoff of the
Nose
Space
gear
Shuttle
touchdown.
Discovery.
Safe landing.
Nose gear touchdown.
From the start, STS-107C to be a mission out of sorts. By the time Columbia was finally ready to fly on January 16, 2003, its planned 16-day mission had been delayed no fewer than 18 times. All those delays had ultimately positioned the STS-107 as a sort of black sheep in the Space Shuttle program's launch schedule. Columbia's crew commander Rick Husband, pilot William Cool, and mission specialists Michael Anderson, Kalpna Chawla, Dave Brown, Laurel Clark, and Israeli astronaut Ilan Ramon would not go to the International Space Station. Their flight would require nothing more risky than orbiting the Earth.
Booster ignition and liftoff of Space Shuttle Columbia with a multitude of national and international space research institutes.
82 seconds after launch, what was later described as a suitcase-sized chunk of frozen foam insulation breaks off Columbia's external tank and strikes the leading edge of the orbiter's left wing. A routine same-day video review of the launch would reveal nothing unusual. However, higher resolution tracking camera film processed overnight and reviewed on Flight Day 2 by the mission's ascent team showed otherwise.
You saw this little thing float toward the leading edge of the wing. You saw this little thing float toward the leading edge. You know, it was like a snowball, hitting something and then just being pulverized. But when you saw it hit, we just went. Saw it hit because we knew, you know, the vehicle was going 500 miles an hour or better. It was inconceivable in hindsight that you could have that kind of impact that at the speed that the vehicle was going and assume that there was no damage. And that's what we allowed ourselves to feel comfortable that we allowed ourselves to feel comfortable.
Due to limitations in the visual clarity, the exact point of impact and extent of any damage could not be determined. If the foam strike had compromised Columbia's integrity, little, if anything, could be done to repair the orbiter in space. 1 week after launch, Mission Control emails the crew, informing them of the debris strike. Save for a relatively minor problem with a leaky refrigeration, STS-107 had been without further incident. As scheduled, the order is given on the morning of February 1st for the Columbia crew to begin the landing procedure and come home to Florida. And traveling in excess of 12,000 miles per hour.